Last topic. Chris Brown, Dr. Dre, R. Kelly, Rick Ross, and so many others. Why do we overlook or give a pass to hip hop stars who abuse women? So I'm not going to go into detail, but you all know that all these stars have been in the news for having um, abuse women in some way. We can't always say that the claim is accurate or true. But I think in these situations with the stars that I just named, we all pretty much know there's some validity to at least some of the claims. And these stars are still respected, they are still loved, they are still well liked, and they're very successful. And I'm happy that they are because it's great to see Black talent always. But do we, why do we give them a pass? I feel like they kind of go unchecked, you know, like we don't even really talk about it. We just kind of sweep it under the rug. Why do you think that is?
Because
Because
men
women,
will be men. That's what they do.
because women are still deemed as products.
Mm.
And since Dr. Dre has a product that sells more than what that woman was selling and can make more money, he gets a pass. So that woman can't make people billions of dollars, but Dr. Dre can. Chris Brown, his music, his acting, his talent can make people billions of dollars, but the woman he abused can't do that. So these people know powerful people, and these powerful people in their corners. So the courts is going to let stuff go. They're not going to hear certain things, and the women know that they won't be heard, so they don't come out sometimes and say things. And when they do come out, they either throwing a couple of dollars to shut up, or they just hushed. So, and that's because women are still looked at as property and product to a lot of men. So,
Mm.
if you can't do nothing for us, we don't want to hear from you. What you trying to ruin this man's career for? You need to be happy that he paying for this. You got it good. You should be lucky. You should be happy. So I think that's how they looking at women, especially these celebrity men in the industry. Like, you should be even happy he looking your way type thing. So, and I
Mm.
think that's why a lot of people need to stop idolizing these celebrities and famous people. I don't do it. I really don't care about them like that. I like their music. I like what they do. I like the entertainment they provide. But at the same time, I don't give them passes for anything. Um, they do wrong. They do wrong. But I know the majority of the people, they do look past it, and I think it's real. It's deep, and a lot of people just need to be counseled, man. I don't know what's going on.
All right. I wanted to do a quick shout out. I see Juana Chica, Tawana in the chat. Hey, girl. How are you? And thank you to everybody who's in the chat. We see you guys. Dorian, thanks so much for your comments. Thank you, Mr. Rucker, the prenup guy. So you all go ahead and keep watching. Hit the like button and the share button. Share with some friends on Facebook or through text to let them know we're here. Come
And
visit
you
us.
right, Wanda. You right, Tawanda. It's not just celebrities. We do look past it in our community, but most of the time, the poor people in the community, they're going to jail.
Yeah,
They
I
go
want
and touch, beat up women, they going to jail.
yeah.
So
Tawana
I
says,
don't
"Oh,
know if
it's
that's
not
most
just."
of the time.
Tawana says, "Oh, it's not just hip hop
you can't even
stars."
yell at a woman these days. You're going to jail. Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know if that's most of the time. It's
Yeah,
it's some of the time. I don't know if it's most.
Tawana says, "Oh, it's not just hip hop stars in our community. We overlook all abuse towards women by Black men, and we heavily praise men."
Because we're supposed to be so strong and we can endure.
Because
Yeah,
That's
and
why.
I
y'all
think that
want to make
also
us so
goes back
happy.
to that we think about how the conversations always go, right? We always have to look at
Hmm.
the deeper, more common thread of this stuff. So when you are constantly socialized to be like, oh, be his peace. Oh, you're this. Oh, you have to calm him down. Oh, you have to do X, Y, Z. Like the onus is always put
Hmm.
on the women, and it's been like that since for forever. So it's like
Hmm.
wife beating was just like I think it still may even be legal in some states, and it's just like was just outlawed like in the 70s or something, like
Hmm.
to be able to legally like beat your wife, like um and the thing is that it always goes back to what is the question that people get asked? Well, what did you do? What did you
Hmm.
say? How did you egg him on? Like how did like
Hmm.
it's never looked at. It's not really a lot of times when a man is abusive like that. It's not looked at a lot of times as a lack of his self control or something that's indicative of his
Mm-hmm.
character. It's looked at as something that the woman goaded him into or drove him to do, or she made him do this, or she caused him to do this. Because the idea is, I don't know, it's just not looked at like, oh, this is an abusive man or he can't control himself. It's like, no, she drove him to it. Like what? Like think about when Chris Brown's initial situation with Rihanna or whatever like that. It was all, oh, she must have did something. Oh, she must have said something. Oh, what she do to deserve that? Chris Brown, you know, like all of these things. Think about how people talk about the situation with R. Kelly. Oh, they knew what they was getting into. Oh, they already knew what was going on. Now they trying to act innocent. Like it's that same thing. Like even with Michelle's story, it was like, oh, why is she bringing up all of this stuff now? And she's just trying to get, you know, she's trying to bring this black man down. And like it's so funny that you asked this question, because that's the first thing that actually popped into my head when I saw Dr. Dre at the halftime performance. Like as soon as I saw him walk across the stage, I was just like, he was beating on that lady. Like that's the first thing that popped into my head. And I was actually really thinking about that. Like, so like these, like,
we excuse it. We excuse it.
Yeah, but yeah, and so like I was literally thinking that like for me, if I had something like that was so, I would think like such detestable behavior, I would just be like more ashamed of something. Not saying that he gotta go hide somewhere, but it still just felt like that to me. Like he was just out, like, and I was just like, she was just like beating on people, and you just like you just out and proud, like. And my whole thing is, I think that it would be different if we even had some type of like accountability, some apologies, some whatever, but it's still like a total lack of accountability from a lot of these dudes. Like a lot of them don't acknowledge that they actually did anything wrong. They don't feel like they did anything wrong. They have a million excuses for why this happened. This person made me do it and that's not me, you know, and all these other things, instead of saying, you know what, that was inappropriate behavior. I was broken, whatever it is that you want to say, you know, like I'm getting help, whatever. They don't do that, and they continue a lot of the same behavior for a long time. Like, I mean, even look at Chris Brown. Like, he been accused of like being violent with multiple more women. You know what I mean? And
but we don't address it. I think it has a little bit to do with the fact, well, with two things. Like, for one thing, I think black men have been portrayed in such negative lights in
that
the
we
media
feel like we need to protect them
from the very, very early, from like the 1800s, when, you know, TV first arrived. You know, think about Birth of a Nation and think about the minstrel shows. Think about all these different depictions of black men as being violators, of being aggressive and violent and dangerous. And so we went through a period in history where we were trying to counteract that, and we wanted more positive images. But now I think we're kind of at the point where it's like we don't speak up when there are men who do that for fear of bringing the back, or, you know, bringing the black man down, or even being perceived as though we're bringing the black man down. And so it's like we can't really address it for that. I think it also has something to do with the fact that, you know, culture is so important to us, you know. And these are some guys that have added to our culture, and we love it so much. We love those aspects of it that we don't want to give it up. But then it also reflects how insignificant I think black women are in our society. You know, someone says here, last name first says black women are not seen as delicate and beautiful by black men, many, not all. So when black women are victimized, they see it as deserved. And I wonder if like our abuse is just not seen as abuse, like not seen.
no, because we're seen as masculine.
Yeah.
We're masculine, and we have
Listen,
according to somebody before, we have deadly mouths or vicious mouths, some shit they use, some kind of mouths that I guess just make people want to be beating on us. I don't know.
right. I was going, I mean, we beat on our children. So, I mean, what, that magically supposed to stop when she gets her menstrual cycle or when she becomes a teenager?
You know,
Oh, don't let no man go upside your head. But last year, your mama and daddy, they were knocking you to the ground. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. All this stuff that we perpetuate, you know, then we make songs about it. And then we at the concert. Make it make sense.
You
Like,
know, you know what I think about. You know what I didn't think. What came in my mind talking about this. Y'all know that picture when the man has all these knives in his back and stuff like that, and then a woman has that one knife in her back, and then they be like, who hurt more? And I think through over time, I think it's been the perception is that men get the most harsh treatment, that we're hurting more because when we go to jail, it's we're going to jail. But if you think about it, we're hurting the same. And I think a lot of women even think that men are being treated worse than they are. Like if I go to jail, me and my wife are going through something. I'm not just I'm in jail, but she's going through something also because now she's a single mother. She has to do burn everything on her own, all the other stuff. And I think a lot of women don't look at it like that. They look at it like, oh, I have to do extra to make sure my man is okay because society puts so much on him that I have to let things go. And I think they let certain behaviors go because in the back they feel a little bit they feel sympathy for that man because of all the things that they went through. Even since slavery, it was, oh, don't bother him because if we do XYZ, he's going to get this type of behavior or treatment from the master and this and that. If we praise him too much, the master going to take him and use him as an example because he see that we love him that much, right? So now they doing it the same. They doing it the same way. Oh, let him do what he's doing because I can't put too much on him because he's already being brutalized by the police, um, um, systematic oppression, all this other stuff. So let's leave him alone. Not knowing that you're going through the same thing he's going through, just on another, in different circumstances. You know what I'm saying? So I think if we all look at it as we're all hurting together, then I don't think a woman would let certain things go. You know,
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Raven, did you chime in on this one? Why do you think this happens? Why do you think we give a pass to hip hop stars with these women?
I think everybody made some great points. Like Cannon stated, we just got past the point where it was even considered illegal in the first place. So you look back as far as Ike Turner, it's not like that's the joke. We normalize it so much. Oh, you're gonna get Ike Turner. It's a part of our culture now. And like Miss Jovo said as well, we don't want to shame our men because we know every man isn't abusive. We don't want to put out the image that, oh well, when black men get money they start beating their bitches, and that's not the case at all. Because they don't represent all men, but we should speak on what they do. It's a problem.
Yeah.
And
because it's other niggas doing that.
huh?
Circumstances should not keep you from being accountable for your behavior.
Right.
It shouldn't. I mean, growing up, I grew up in a very tumultuous situation, but hold me accountable when I'm wrong. Like my parents' wrongdoing and how I got raised has nothing to do with me raising my hand to you or me cussing my husband out or any poor behavior that I might decide to demonstrate. Like hold me accountable. Like I think we look at the music, we look at the money, we look at the imprint that these men have on our culture, and then we're like, well, if I say something, it's taking away his success. No, it's not. They're still great performers and actors, but in this area of your life, somebody need to hold you accountable. Like it is not okay for you to have sex with girls. It is not okay for you to be walking around here, hitting women, or being verbally and emotionally and physically abusive towards them. Like your talent does not give you a pass, nor does your circumstances give you a pass. You're greater than that, obviously, because you got talent. You're greater than the circumstance. I think that's where we go wrong. We don't teach them to understand that you have the capability to be greater than your circumstance. Like you still need to be held accountable for your behavior.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it might have a lot to do with the entourage effect, the fact that people around him, they're getting paid to not say anything. Just like this is very unrelated. But Big Pun, I was watching I guess documentary about his weight loss issues, and so many people around him were telling him to stop doing it that he would just fire them. Like, oh, I'm not trying to hear that. You're fired. On to the next. So, you get to a space when you're at Dr. Dre, Ike Turner, Chris Brown level where you can curate your own pocket of predators.
Yeah.
Y'all probably
And that's
all
what
beating
happened with
boys.
R. Kelly. I followed the R. Kelly trial. That's exactly what happened. There were people who knew what was going on. And because they are at fault too, and I think they should be held accountable, but they would not divulge certain information, or they would really add to the behavior and allow, R. Kelly more time, like space, and arranging certain things to happen so that he could prey on these girls, because they didn't want to lose their jobs. But one guy was like, he didn't want to lose his connect, like he wanted to stay abreast to everything that was going on. He was kind of, I guess, high ranking in the entourage, and he didn't want to lose that status. And that's just really sad that, that's one way that it kind of perpetuates. But the public knows, and we still, as a whole, just kind of, we accept it, we do. But anyone want to say a couple last things?
I
And then
think
I
those
want to
people.
open up. I'm sorry, Raven. I want to also open up the floor. I missed a couple callers. You all can call back. But if you want to chime in on this topic or any of the topics, go ahead and call in. The number's on the screen. We love to hear from you guys. Go ahead, Raven.
I think sort of like the same effect with the entourage. Pockets of people are going to hang out with pockets of people. I haven't had an issue where me and my husband have been on a double date and the man has been abusive to his girlfriend outside of like when I was 15 and in high school and stuff like that. But there are couples that hang together who all of them beat each other. The girls beat the boys beat the girls. This is just the reality for those kind of people, and they're just in this reality together. And I mean,
Yeah, because
I don't.
I think if we was hanging out with a couple and they was like, and I seen a guy just abusing this woman, I'd be like, oh, we ain't hanging out with them no more. Oh, I
Oh
can't be
yeah,
around
no,
that
that's
shit.
what I said. When I was 15, it happened, but me and my husband weren't even together. But shoot, I was like, y'all need to take me home. I don't know what y'all got going on, but I don't
They,
get down like this. I'm
they
about to
gonna,
call the police on both of y'all. I don't like this.
but then you really
I
don't
don't
know
like
what to
this at
do. You be like, you
all.
just sitting there like,
Right.
oh, who I'm
Yeah,
about to
he
help?
we
Who I'm
were
about to help?
driving. We were driving. He started punching the back of the headset. I'm like, hey man, take me home. Okay, yeah,
Right.
whatever y'all gonna do, take me home because I like to fight. I don't like it. I'm too soft on the
Mm-mm.
inside. I can't.
Mm-mm.